Hey Susan,
Yes, yes. Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm well. I just got your message. Are you available right now?
I am.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna put the video on because it sounded like you're a soldier, not embarrassed. I mean, this isn't an embarrassing thing. I think it can help a lot of people.
Oh, well, I hope it does help other people. It'd be nice if it would help me.
Okay, cool. I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know exactly what's going on with you, but I have had some ideas because you've been kind of discussing with me off and on for the last couple years or something.
Yes.
Have we ever talked before, Susan?
We have talked before way back when I first met you. On the YouTube. So I was one of your first 300 subscribers, and it was back in that time when I called you. But anyway, it's been.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remembered talking to you before, but weren't you going through kind of the similar thing back then as well?
Well, what I've had experienced this problem. I think it was a year ago, summertime, when I tried to take the 30-day raw challenge, and so I was going along just fine and very, very happy with the result. But it turns out that I was allergic to cabbage, which I didn't remember at the time, and it was high season for cabbage, so I was just eating a lot of it, and I was getting very frequent and violent diarrhea. By that I would mean I would have this explosive gas, and it just comes gushing out, and we're talking 15, 20 times a day. I'm a piano teacher, and I would have to leave class a couple of times, and it was just, 20 times a day kind of ruins your life. You don't sleep well at night either. Well, I have since discovered an allergy elimination treatment that has cured my gluten intolerance and my lacto intolerance, plus a bunch of other stuff. And cabbage is one of them. So I thought, oh, this is great. Now I can get back on all the fruits and vegetables that I want. So I started this summer, saying, okay, let's give this a try and see how far I can get. And each time I give it a try, once I get to, we are vegan. My husband and I are mostly vegan, not religiously so, but 97% or something like that. We are vegan, and I was trying to go raw. And at about the time I get to 50%, then I start getting the frequent bowel movements again. Not 15 to 20, but it is 6 to 8 times a day. And I'm just tired of it.
Okay, and you're like hovering around 50% raw now?
Yes. I generally have a raw breakfast, and over half of my lunch is raw, and about half of my dinner is raw.
Okay, cool. And so what kind of diet did you grow up on?
Oh, this is the standard American diet. However, everything was homemade. And so, we thought we were eating very healthfully because the bread was made at home, and the breakfast was made at home. We didn't go out a whole lot. So.
A lot of grains?
But I'm 63.
Oh.
And I have been constipated about 4 decades. About 40 years of my life I was constipated. And when I got into the raw fruits and vegetables, of course that went away. So I don't know if this is a residue from those 4 decades of severe constipation.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you've got a very thick wall of mucus. I'm going to assume that you ate a fair amount of grains and grain products.
Yes, and I raised my children on homemade bread. So, yes, I did that to them too. It's all homemade.
Yeah, well now it's going to take some time to remedy. You've got a thick caking of mucus in your GI tract, and it's affecting your absorption and elimination. Basically, are things coming out looking like they went in?
No, everything is digested. No, everything is well digested.
It's well digested? Okay, well that's good. That means that you're, well, I'll have to get a little more information, but I'm thinking that what you do whenever you're on these, on the high water fruits and vegetables, that is just not absorbing in the colon very well, and then you're not absorbing the water through the wall of the colon because of the thick mucus, and then everything's just coming out a watery mess.
Okay.
So when you eat some cooked food, does it slow down the violent bowel movements?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
see,
it does.
because the water is cooked out of the food usually, and it doesn't. Raw food is really easily absorbable and moves through the GI tract really easily. So it's, if you had a really good porous colon, the water would absorb through the bowel wall really easily, and then everything would become nice and thick, and then you'd have nice solid bowel movements, you know? So really what you're going to be working on when you get a chance, because I know you're a piano teacher and you can't leave every 5 minutes, but you're going to want to basically dissolve that mucus lining on your colon. Have you ever had a colonic?
Yes.
Okay, what were the bowel movements like after the colonic?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a year or more. I think just normal, except that my colon then would be a little tender, and so that would be the thing I would notice, is that it was a little tender, and I'd be a little hesitant. But I think they would be just whatever it is at the time.
So are some of your bowel movements normal and nice and solid?
Not anymore. No, not anymore.
So you really don't have, so
last year, probably.
So now the constipation is gone and it's switched over to diarrhea.
That's it.
And okay, so
one thing or another.
yeah, well, it's because, you know, we live a certain way for a long time, and your cooked food is constipating, especially the grains and the no fiber meats and the eggs and the cheese, because none of those animal foods have any fiber. So, and those foods leave behind, when we eat a lifetime of bread and grains and animal products, we just get a thick coating of mucus. Even the gourmet raw food is going to leave tons of mucus, and then it takes us years to get the base membrane clean again, back to a nice pink, healthy, porous, you know, and it has a nice respiration for the water to absorb and toxins to move out. Basically, again, we always come back to being clogged up, and we need to dissolve that mucus. And so, I don't know if you've ever done any kind of, I mean, what would happen, what kind of guess would you have if you ate watermelon for 3 days? What do you think would happen?
I think I would have frequent bowel movements, with a lot of high water content. I have been eating watermelon, but not 3 times, not all day. I've been having, watermelon for breakfast and half of my lunch.
Okay, like when you drink juice, does it just come right out?
Yeah, that's when I drip. If I drink juice, that's when I have a really hard time holding the juice, and I go running to the bathroom, and I get, a half teaspoon? Nothing that you want to sit in all day, but certainly is hardly worth the effort.
Yeah, so you've got your whole GI tract is just coated with a thick layer of mucus, and you're going to have to find ways to fit into your lifestyle those days when you can clean up house by doing mono eating of fruit so that you can begin to dissolve those accumulations that have built up. And mixing the cooked food with the raw food is really tough. Because you can never really solve the problem. What's the longest? Have you ever done anything like 100% raw for a period of time, Susan?
Yes, last year when I took the 30-day challenge, I got to day 24, and you should have seen my skin was glowing. I was just a picture of health. But that's when I had to call a stop to it at 24 days, because as I said, I was in the bathroom 15, 20 times a day.
Yeah, you may need to fit a period of that into your life somehow, because that's kind of how it's going to work. What's interesting is that I don't know if you've done any kind of water fasting at all.
No, I did one 3-day water fast for religious purposes about 30 years ago, but that was back in my sad sad food days, so I haven't done any water fasting.
Anytime you can fit in a 36-hour water fast, you're going to be able to allow all the enzymes from the pancreas to dump into the stomach and the small intestine, and it'll start to dissolve that mucus. That's one of the beauties of water fasting, is that all the pancreatic enzymes end up going into the small intestine and flowing down into the large intestine and starting to digest some of that old fecal matter. In your case, I would assume it's probably a whitish, greenish, yellowish mucus that has just become caked up in your whole GI tract. So you're going to have to go through the healing events. It's never easy to do this. What's the quality of your life at this time?
Oh, very high. We are retired, so I don't do anything I don't have to do. I teach piano for the pleasure of it. I garden for the pleasure of it. I walk the dogs to get out of the sunshine. I have a 40-year good marriage. We have 3 wonderful sons. The quality of my life is very high. And I love the Lord. I serve the Lord too.
So your energy is good.
Okay, thank you.
Is your energy good? I mean, do you have good physical energy?
Oh, it's pretty good. But I remember one time during that 30-day challenge that I took, I had so much energy. I went down and I scrubbed the siding of the house. You know how the siding of the house can get dirty and sometimes mildewy. I was out there scrubbing that down. Just to clean the outside of the house, clean the inside of the house. I couldn't find enough to do.
Yeah,
and that only happened once. Then I got over it.
Yeah, well, see, that's an indicator of me of what you need to do again. You would do very well if you adopted an extremely high raw food diet. I hesitate to say 100%. I've been on a 100% raw diet for, quite a while, but 100%, because I'm usually hovering around like 98% due to cooked grape juice and things like that, but I've been on 100% for about, 10 days or something, with no discrepancies, pure, clean, no salt, no fat, no nuts, no spices, and it makes a pretty profound difference. So if you had that much energy from the raw challenge, I think that you know what you need to do. The only thing is, Susan, is that you're going to experience house cleansing. Did you have any low periods during that 24 days of raw foods?
No.
Interesting.
One continual high.
So what keeps you going back to the cooked food? Just the bowel function?
Just the bowels. Yeah, I get to the point point where I say, this, I've got to do something to add. I've got to add some glue to my system. Well, also because my husband is not in sympathy with this raw stuff. He says that this is proof that my body is saying you can't handle this. This is too much for you. Not that raw food is bad, but this is too much for you. And maybe I'm just not strong enough or committed enough to do it.
Well, it must be hard with that type of message coming because, I'm sure your husband means well. It's just that most people in this world, doctors, everyone, nutritionists included, do not understand the healing events that must take place to heal us from our indiscretions from the past. We just didn't know any better. If we thought bread was good for us. We didn't realize that bread left a layer of gluten all throughout our body every day of our lives, every time we ate it. And now we owe a debt to nature to get back to high-functioning bowels and high-functioning organs, glands, and tissues, and it's going to take some housework. One of the things you could do is high fruit. My suggestion is to avoid the green juices for now because I think that you want that fiber from the fruits pulling moving the junk as it like watermelon passes through, and watermelon's got a small amount of cleansing type acids as well as oranges and grapes. The acids in the fruits are like soap, and so they dissolve the junk on the sides of the bowel wall, and the fiber latches on and sweeps it through. So you've got a bit of a debt to pay, I'm sure, after a lifetime of sad food. You just went raw, like right when you found me?
Yes, that's how I found you. Yes.
I'm sorry, Susan, that you ever found me. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, you've been my daily constant companion.
You were going to say you've been my daily constipation. No, I'm just kidding.
No, constant companion.
I'm just kidding. Okay, well, anyways, are you getting sort of what I'm saying here? Are you getting a picture? Have you ever looked at pictures of the colon and the GI tract?
Yes, I have seen them. Yes, I have seen them.
I used to go to bed at night dreaming about the colon because I would look at anatomy charts. So I have a really good understanding of what's going on, and I've been doing this for a long time at a very high level, and I'm still cleansing mucus out of my GI tract. Well, of course, then the gourmet raw doesn't help either. But the clean diet of fruits, vegetables, like oranges are coming into season. Apples would be incredibly beneficial for you. And so the only thing I can think of is like fruits, and then the most tender greens like spinach, lettuce, celery, cucumbers, red peppers, oranges, grapes, watermelons. You've got just another month or so, and even some shredded squash and things like that. But I would avoid nuts and fats for now. And I know that it's going to be winter in Virginia and cold as all get out. So it might be a little bit tough. You might need to make a long-term plan, Susan, for like when next spring and summer, because it's going to be tough. You're going to have to do what you got to do to get through the winter because it's hard to be a fruitarian. But the fruit diet is the most anatomically correct diet. And then what I like to do is bring in herbs for balanced stabilization and satiety. But it's really going to be the fruits that are going to wash and flush the bowel, and then it's going to get your bowel wall cleaned out so that that the water can begin to be absorbed through the bowel wall, which is, I think, probably the biggest problem that you're having.
Well, that makes sense now that you describe it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be done in one phone call for sure, because it's going to be your own personal revelations as you. I'm just a I just give you some hints, and then you're going to have to contemplate this on your own. And, being a servant of the Lord, I'm sure that the angels of this earth and heaven will come, and they will continue to show you what you need to do, because you've got incredible vitality at 63. You can easily go another 20, 30 years and have a great life, or even beyond that if you want. But the raw food is the food of life, and you got the glow from 24 days. Imagine if you do this for 6 months, a year, 2 years. You can grow better and younger and stronger, but you're going to have to pay the debt to nature, and that's probably going to be some poop. So my suggestion is to try a few things for now, and then we can touch base maybe in 3 or 6 months. But for now, eat some fruit and get a few colonics, like once a week for a few weeks, if you can afford that, and try that out. It can't hurt, because you can move a lot of mucus. As the water expands the colon, it'll break the junk off of the outside of the colon wall, and then the water will flush it through. And then over time, your absorption through the colon will get better.
Okay.
3 years in.
I can always tell when that's going on inside of me, because those bowel movements really stink. I mean, they smell, just foul and hurt the nose. And
yes.
Just unhealthy. It just smells like death, actually.
Yeah, you've got a lot. Did you eat a lot of meat too?
Oh, in my life, yes.
Okay, well, yeah, we think, we're going to go raw, and 3 months later we're going to be floating around with the butterflies and the angels. The body doesn't work like that. It's a slow and steady process, and of course, the green juicing and the fruit is the nice, slow, steady, continue to live your life but get cleaned out. Now, and then the water fasting, of course, which most of us aren't there, but if we do some mono fruit diets like grapes or watermelons for a few days, and then we take it to a week. These things sound bizarre and insane, but if we were animals in nature, animals eat 1 or 2 different types of food for weeks or even months on end, and then us humans, we have all these books that we wrote, and we have all these ideas about what nutrition is, but it doesn't really line up with nature if we watch the animals. And so, for someone to think, eat grapes for a week, that's crazy and insane. But unless they try it and actually do something like that and see how absolutely fantastic you can feel, then you wouldn't really want to have an opinion about it until you try it. So you're going to need to do some simplification, and like I said, Susan, you may need to just get through the winter. However you got to get through. Steamed vegetables, even steamed vegetables, are fairly benign. Do those help to slow down the explosive bowel movements?
Oh, yes, cooked food, any cooked food.
So
slow it down.
Instead of heavier cooked food, which is going to add to the mucus load, see, like steamed broccoli and cauliflower does not add to the mucus load. It doesn't add to the vitality of the organism because you cook the electricity and the enzymes out, but at least with the steamed broccoli and cauliflower, you're not adding to the mucus load. If you're doing a bunch of nuts or avocados or cooked grains or anything, you're adding to the mucus load, and then you won't ever be able to really get that mucus out of there, which is causing you the issue. So it's a long and steady road, but I think, like I said, our teachers, they teach us a lot of things and they can make sense, but really, everything that's useful truly comes from inner revelation as we tread our own path,
Okay.
So do you think that this phone call is going to spur you forward a bit?
Yes, you've given me new determination. One of the things I lack is the absolute conviction to do this regardless of what the people around me say. And I do have to say that I'm not, so far I haven't been strong enough to do it.
Well, I think you are strong enough, Susan. I've been reading your comments for years. I've been loving your energy. Like I told you before, you know, having you around a sophisticated, mature woman, leaving your comments and watching me every day has been an inspiration for me, you know. So I really appreciate you, and I just wanted to do anything I could do to help you today. Let's address the thing about other people real quick, and then we'll call it good. But you know, some people are called to this and some are not. And Susan, I will tell you right now, since you've been here since the beginning and watched every video, you are called to this. There's a reason why you're following this insane skinny dude on YouTube. This is your destiny. And you know, somewhere deep, I mean, you are blessed. Anyone who ends up at this channel and on raw foods is blessed, because raw foods is the way to live as a human being. That being said, we're not better than anyone. We're not better than our husband. We're not better than our kids. We're not better than the naysayers. We just have to follow our destiny. And if you've been there since the beginning, Susan, that tells me something. And you really have this desire. You want to get that glow back, don't you?
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Feels good, don't it, when you're doing it with all those enzymes and the easily digestible raw foods, and you're out. You know, the cleansing part, when people start cleaning up their body, they start cleaning up their house, cleaning up outside, you start organizing stuff, throwing crap away. It's the cleansing, the colon, and the cleans the brain, and then the brain looks around and goes, this place is a mess, I need to get working. So let's keep on cleaning out our bodies. Our pipes are clogged with a lifetime of mucus. It's not going to change overnight, but if we got to get in this to win this, because we know that in the end, a light is going to be in our heart, a light is going to be in our mind, and a light is going to be in our belly. The fire of life burning is the colon, and the small intestine is the fireplace of our existence. And we want to keep that thing fired up so that we can have a strong physical body and love pouring out of our heart. And the light of the mind is really the key goal. When your mind looks out onto this world and sees nothing but pure God, and you experience the peace that passes understanding, that's why raw food is part of a lot of our paths, is because it accelerates the possibility for us to experience those heightened states of spiritual awareness. So if that doesn't move you, baby, I don't know what will.
Yeah. You talked in one of your videos about watercress eliminating, being an expectorant and eliminating the mucus in your system. Should I search around, look for watercress?
Watercress cannot hurt you. It really does affect the upper. Well, anything that's good for the lymphatic system, like the watercress, is good for the entire lymphatic system. Your lower, for you right now, your symptoms are coming from stagnation in the lower lymphatic system. So definitely drink the watercress. I would drink it. How much juice do you drink when you drink juice, Susan?
8 ounces.
Okay, yeah, and then you get the drip. So you probably don't want to do much more than that either until you get this thing clean. But I'm intuitively getting a message of watermelon, grapes, and oranges and apples for you. With mentioning right now that apples are in season and snapping delicious, and apples are really good for what you're dealing with, because the apples tend to not be as explosive as things like the watermelon, the papayas, and the grapes. They tend to create more of an explosive movement, where the apples have a lot more fiber, cellulose, and are a little bit lower on the sugar and water content than some of those other ones. So try apples, and then you can do some apples with raisins, which may help to keep, the raisins will keep, they'll absorb some water down there, and so it might move things a little more slowly through there. So you might want to try a nice apple raisin snack. as like a daily snack to keep things moving and cleansing. And then the oranges are also going to be coming into season here in the next month or two, and those are going to really help. The acids in the citrus fruits are really going to help to dissolve that mucus, while again the fiber from the oranges will be beneficial as a sweeper and a cleanser to pull that mucus out of there.
Okay, and you think this is going to take a year to accomplish?
You know, the thing is the harder we hit it, the more dysfunctional our lives can be sometimes because of the healing crisis, or the healing event is a better way to say it, because I'm always trying to create a healing event in me, because I'm still working on stuff, because, you know, I lived a pretty debaucherous life myself and did a lot of damage to my brain, and so I have a lot of mucus in my brain. So the same thing you're experiencing in your bowels, I'm experiencing it in my brain, because the body tries to protect itself from so much, from a lifetime of constantly introducing foreign elements, like the cooked food, the meat, the grains and stuff that are cooked are foreign elements, just like all the drugs and all the things that I did, you know, were foreign elements, and my body threw up these layers of mucus and cholesterol to protect itself. And now that we're no longer putting those things in there, we've got to get the body to trust us again so that it will release. So I need to release out of my head. So I'm trying to create a healing event. You're going to want to create a healing event, Susan, when you can fit it in, which is the hard thing, because the body operates on its own. So again, healing is an art, and our world is not set up with day jobs, mortgages, kids, to really be able to do this. So usually desperation makes us say, you know, F it, man, I'm going for this. I don't care if I have to go to the bathroom 10 times during a thing. I need to get this done. And, you know, so the more adamant we get about staying the course, those healing events are what heals us, whatever it is. We all have different events. Everybody has different symptoms, and you know, we just want to continue, no matter what. We want to continue to do this cleansing, detoxifying, and regenerating of the body and the spirit until forever. So it's a never-ending process. We're constantly cultivating better physical, better emotional, and better mental, as well as spiritual health. So this path doesn't ever end. And when you get finished with this, which yes, it could take up to a year. The thing is, Susan, you could do a 21-day watermelon fast next summer and totally clear this thing up. That's the type of possibility I'm talking about. Is it going to be easy? You know, you've got psychological issues. People around you are going to be like, "What, Susan? You're only eating watermelon? You're insane. This guy Dan, he's the devil." You know, and they're going to think you're nuts. But really, I know people that have eaten watermelon for 45 days, 21 days, and guess what? Their life did not. They might have had some rough patches in there, but all said and done, they had the glow, and they got rid of a lot of dead filth out of their GI tract. Black, dark, disgusting, terribly smelling stuff. And so these types of monofruit fastings and deep tissue detox is absolutely mandatory, and it's not going to be easy. So we got to stick together, those of us that are on this road, and support one another through the internet, through the YouTube channel, through the Facebook, all the avenues we've got. So you're not crazy, Susan. You're doing the right thing. You're lucky that, I mean, your situation is fairly benign, pretty easy to deal with. A little bit of poopy, do some laundry, you know what I mean? I've had that before. I've had my fair share of diarrhea, and you know, I'm in good shape now. I've got great bowels, but there, you know, when you go through those periods of cleansing, it takes a little bit of work. So anything else, Susan?
I don't think so. This is just the only health challenge that I have. praise God, and
Yeah.
it would be, it'd be nice to get through it. So, all right, I'll just have to go on do what I can about a monofruit diet and see if I can find time on the weekends to do the 36 hours is, once you stop eating dinner, then it's the night and all the next day. So
Yeah, up until, you just go, or you can wake up and then go till noon the next day.
Oh, is that it?
And that will be helpful. Just taking that time and use that time to really dive deep into this and use it as a time to meditate and pray and ask the Lord, how can I get over this? Help me. And I'm telling you, the answers come. The answers always come out of nowhere when you least expect it. So, like I said, I would try getting a colonic, eating as clean as you can, and then getting 1 colonic a week for 3 weeks, and see if at the end of 3 weeks things aren't better.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, and then let me know how this goes. And
all right, I will, and thank you so much for taking my call and addressing my issues, and I just wish blessings and peace and health to you and your family and whatever needs that you have.
Thank you, Susan. It's been an honor to have your energy in, on, and around the YouTube channel all these years. So thank you so much.
Okay, well thank you and have a good day.
We'll do a follow-up in 3 or 6 months.
Okay.
Okay.
I will remember because I will be looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Susan. Peace.
Okay, peace to you. Bye.
Hey, thanks guys for watching that video in its entirety. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let's just continue to do the best we can. That's all we can do. We're trying to make some sense out of this. There's no one right way, but like I said, the main thing is to listen to yourself, to continue to ask your deepest self the questions, how do I get well? And then be prepared to receive. And then when you get inspiration from a book or a person or a video or from deep within yourself, oh my God, that's it. You have these aha moments, follow those. And then keep on going down this road and continue to learn and educate through in different teachers and try to do what makes sense to you. Get those aha moments and get inspired. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Peace be with you. I hope that you receive the benefit and the radiance of the total high, super duper regenerated, healthy body and spirit. Thank you. Bye-bye.